I'm with Coach Brett Ellery, head football coach of the Centerville Elks. And Coach, getting ready to play your first game of the season. Of course, a little backwards from maybe what you've done in the past. You're normally towards the end of the season. Now you're at the beginning. With that in mind, what have the challenges been getting ready for this opener with the uncertainty of knowing if there's going to be a football season at all?
Sure, there was definitely some uncertainty whether or not we were going to play. I think we were cautiously optimistic. They gave us some mandates back in late May and said, follow these things, do your part, and you'll have a season. So we followed everything, and probably almost every single school in the state of Ohio probably followed everything. And that's why we were granted the season by Governor DeWine. But preparing for the season, our guys just show up. They show up every day to work. Our coaches show up every day to work hard. The players show up to work hard. So, showing up every day with a little bit of uncertainty was not difficult for them to do. Because I think they were optimistic that we were going to have the season, and they were preparing to have that season. To start the season without a scrimmage or anything is going to be very difficult. You start to worry about player safety, and you think less about the X's and O's and whether or not you can execute a play versus are your guys ready to execute at a high speed and at high rates of impact. But that's the cards we're dealt, so that's what we'll deal with, and we're preparing the best we can.
All right. Typically, you have one or two scrimmages before an opener. Without them, how has this been challenging in setting a depth chart?
There's a lot of competition on our team. I would say every day is almost a scrimmage atmosphere where guys are competing and guys are competing for each other's jobs, and it's healthy competition, which is good for us. We've had a couple inter-squad scrimmages, so we've been able to put some things on film and evaluate guys and let them evaluate themselves. It's not the same as squaring off in a scrimmage against Dublin Kaufman or Winton Woods or Pickerington Central like we were supposed to, but we deal with what we got, so we're ready.
All right. As for when the game kicks off, how will wearing a face mask affect your communication with the players?
The face mask is there for safety, to reduce the spread of COVID-19, and so we're 100% on board with it. But we've been told that, if face masks are going to compromise the safety of the game in any way and put a player in danger, your communication needs to be clear, then we're asked to pull it down for a quick second and then pull it back up so that we can communicate in an efficient manner. So I don't think it'll have any impact whatsoever on us. Just have to talk a little bit louder into the headset.
Okay, let's go to your team. Back for his junior year this year, quarterback Chase Harrison threw for 2,400 yards last season. What have you had him work on to improve his game in the offseason? He's a student of the game. He really wants to be better. He wants to, improve everything all at once. And we've just gone back to basics with him, just kind of focusing on the little things that he controls and trying to improve the fundamentals and the basics of his position. Additionally, he's put on some good strength and some good weight, and he's a lot quicker than he has been in the past. So he's put in a lot of work in the weight room and in the agility training and everything. So he's excited to start the season. All right. Final question for you. In the backfield, what is the game plan to replace 900-yard rusher Bryce McMahon?
Bryce is very difficult to replace. He's a captain, probably worthy of being a 2-year captain, a tremendous leader in the locker room, someone that our team still looks up to and still talks about. We still watch Bryce McMahon highlights. So replacing him is going to be very difficult. But, we got a few guys on our depth chart that we're confident can go out there and, together they can get that job done and, hopefully, be able to fill that void.
Okay, Coach. Well, thanks for taking a few minutes to speak with me, and have some good luck on Friday night.
Thank you.
I'm with Coach Dave Miller, head coach of the Fairmont Firebirds varsity football. And, Coach, getting ready for kind of a backward season. You're playing Centerville first, where you normally play them at the end of the year. Of course, you're not playing Alter at all.
Right.
But since our last conversation, what have been the challenges getting ready for the opener without scrimmages against other teams?
Well, I think, again, back to when we talked, I think, back in June, a lot of uncertainty and just not sure really what's going to happen one week to next. I would say that's the biggest thing. A couple weeks ago, we got the okay from the governor's office and health department, and that was huge because then you can really start focusing and saying, okay, we're actually going to have a game, hopefully. So I think that was challenge number one. I think our kids did a really nice job with that, focusing on what they need to focus on, control what you can control. But that alone is probably the biggest thing that for young people to have to deal with that. I would say that was the hardest thing.
All right, question number 2. How have you prepared the players for a different atmosphere in terms of wearing masks on the sidelines and the lack of in-person attendance?
Well, we've practiced it. We've done some inter-squad scrimmages. You mentioned the fact we didn't have any scrimmages. Everybody's in the same boat there, so I think that's pretty even. We practiced social distancing on the sideline. They have their spots where they're going to be standing, and our first trial run didn't go so well, so we had some work to do on that, and they've gotten more used to it. So I don't think that's going to be really a big issue. We've done that enough times in our preparation here, and we'll continue to do that this week, that I think they'll be ready to go game night and won't even be thinking about that.
As for yourself and the coaching staff, how would wearing masks alter your communications with the players?
Well, it's going to be a challenge. I struggle in practice sometimes, blowing a whistle. That's one thing that, I have to pull it down and blow. And if there's something I really need to communicate the kids with, I'll pull it down just briefly and stay 6 feet away. But it's a challenge, but we're working through it, and our coaches understand, as well as our players, what we have to do in order to have a season. So we'll do it.
Other than wishing to dominate time of possession with the running game, what is the strategy to contain Elks quarterback Chase Harrison?
I mean, that's it. You've got not only him, but there's some really talented receivers. they have, I think, pretty much everybody back from last year, including Linkart. He was about 6'5", 6'6", so that's going to present challenges for us. But we're better off when they're on the sideline. So if we can do the job on offense, and that was the game plan last year. Of course, that didn't really happen. But and just minimize what they do and make them earn everything they did. That's kind of how we do it philosophically.
And with no Bryce McMahon in the backfield for the Elks, do you prepare for even more passing by Harrison, considering he was a second leading rusher last year with 180 yards?
No, I think they can run. They're going to have a couple guys already. I recognize names, and one is Jonathan Bruder. They haven't listed as a running back. He's a linebacker, but he's a heck of a football player. So I think he'll probably, without seeing him in scrimmages and so forth, he'll probably be in the lineup. They've got some talent, in the sophomore level. There's a sophomore running back. Not sure who that is, but they'll be fine. They're going to replace. He was good. Bryce was a good running back. Not taking anything away from him, but they'll have some other guys that'll go in there, and you got to defend it. Same thing with Harrison. He can run.
Okay, and final question. Looks like it's probably going to be raining on Friday night. Not the original forecast, but things have changed. How much does that affect the game?
Wouldn't be a game with Centerville without rain. The last few years, that's what we've done, so it's really no different. I think we'll be used to that. We haven't seen it this year as much, and you don't have the live part of that. But it's if you can execute on a daily basis, and we're still working on eliminating mistakes here, then really the rain becomes part of the factor. But hopefully we can minimize that as much as we can.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for taking a few minutes to talk to me, and good luck Friday night.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, hello and welcome here to Roush Stadium, home of the Kettering Fairmont Firebirds. And if you're watching us live on Spectrum or on YouTube, thank you for taking your Friday night and joining us. It's going to be an interesting start here for the Firebirds. Week 1, we're going to do Centerville versus Fairmont. Joining me in the booth is Lucas Smith. This is his first year, and we're just about ready for kickoff, and then we'll go right into our pregame notes to talk about throughout the first quarter. Number 16 will hold on to kick off for the Firebirds. Fairmont will be in the all-navy uniform, Centerville in the away whites. Something we're not used to seeing here week 1, Lucas, but an intense G-Walk battle between these two schools, and we're just about ready to kick off the 2020 football season.
All right, and here we go.
Holt sends this one down, fielded at about the 3 by the Elks, and they're going to run it out, and he's going to be upended at about the 22, maybe the 23. And as Centerville's offense takes the field quickly, Lucas, why don't you go ahead and fill us in what happened last year between these two teams?
Well, thank you, Jared. Yes, last year's game was an intense one, literally down to the last seconds. Fairmont intercepted Centerville's potential game-tying touchdown in the end zone with 5 seconds left, and that interception sealed the victory for the Firebirds for the first time in 21 years. So that Firebirds team is ready to get back on the field and prove that it wasn't just luck that sided with them, and try to make it 2 in a row against these Elks.
All right, now you're going to see junior quarterback Chase Harrison. We've seen him the last 2 years. He has lit up defenses, and he's actually going to be a handoff right up the middle for about a gain of 3. That looked like number 7, Arab Dang, for the Elks. So it'll be 2nd and 8. Harrison going to line up and shotgun, and he's going to hand it off again, and that one gets out to about the 30, so about a gain of 3 on the play. That one was Jonathan Bruder, number 9. And now a big 3rd and 4 here for the Firebirds. This is kind of, you want to make a statement here early. You want to get Centerville off the side or off the field onto the sidelines. Harrison's going to go back to pass.
Now he's going to scramble.
He's going to tuck it and run, and he will be right at the first down marker. And I think they're going to give it to him.
They gave him the first down.
So Harrison with a 5-yard scramble and enough to move the ball for the first down for the Elks.
First and 10. You guys have watched Centerville last year.
Harrison lined up in shotgun with Bruder beside him. He's going to hand it off to Bruder. It was a high snap there and only a gain of 2 on the play. So something we've seen from last year's game to this year's, Fairmont definitely has shored up that interior run. Last year, Bruder would gash him along with the other running back. It'll be 2nd and 8 here. So we approach 10 minutes left in the first.
They only put it, if it's going to be close, they put the ball down behind the beam.
Snap on the ground. And Harrison wisely just falls on it, and that's going to be about a loss of 5 on the play.
And that could have been detrimental to Centerville's offense. It's their first drive of the season.
Don't want to put the ball on the ground, but Harrison, the junior, his mentality wisely fell on it. If it was his freshman season, he would have tried to pick it and run. So it's going to be 3rd and 12 here for the Elks.
See if Fairmont can make a stop.
Harrison back to pass. Fairmont rushes 3, and it's incomplete. Intended to number 12, Will Linkhart. And Fairmont's defense holds there, and they're going to come out, and we're going to see the Firebirds for the first time on offense here shortly.
It looks like we have number 31, Logan Adams, receiving the punt.
Snap was on the ground. It's a high kick, trailing towards the sideline, and it takes a Firebirds bounce back to midfield at the 40. So Fairmont's only got about half the yardage to work with here to start their first drive of the season. And what do you think we can expect coming out for Malik Hillen, the returning quarterback starter for the Firebirds, Lucas?
Well, I believe the Fairmont offense, their offensive line needs to have a better first step, and I believe that they need to keep their 3rd down manageable.
Yeah, when the center comes up, he has to put the ball behind the beam. So that's where they would place it.
So you're going to see Fairmont come out in their traditional set, 1 receiver to the bottom. Then they're going to stack the box.
Bean bag and then bring the sticks up.
And Hillen's going to hand it off right to Gant. Gant runs right up the middle for about a gain of 3 on the play. Stop on the play was by Jason Hayes of the Elks. And now Fairmont 2nd and 7 here. Hillen looks back at Coach Miller for instructions. Play clock is already down to 10. Play clock's down to 5. Hillen pitches it out to Wright. Wright tries to get the sideline. He has the edge. He's at the 40, across the first down and inside the 30. He'll be knocked out of bounds at about the 35, and a huge first down run there for the Firebirds. And that's something the Firebirds have baited teams over and over since Miller took over. They'll run it 2 strong times up the middle, and then they're going to pitch it out either left or right. And you see Keon Wright got it there for a huge first down run for the Firebirds. Hillen under center. Hands it off to Gant, and Gant powers through for about a gain of 4 on the play. So it'll be 2nd and 6 And I would assume that it's going to be another tank gang carry up the middle here. Play clock is down to 15 for the Firebirds as we're under 8 minutes now left in the first quarter. And Hillen's actually going to keep it, pitches it out to right, and is hit in the backfield for a loss of 2. Leading the way there for the Elks was number 5, Jason Hayes. So I don't think the Firebirds are going to return back to that play on this drive. Centerville read that one perfectly.
He sure did.
Forces a long third down here for the Firebirds. 3rd and 8 from the 34.
Let's see if these Fairmont Firebirds can convert.
And they're actually going to send 2 receivers out to the top of your screen along with the one at the bottom. Hillen's going to line up under center, and he's going to fake it, and he's going to fake the pitch to Gant and maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. So now it'll be 4th and about 7. And now an interesting coaching call here by the Firebirds. So they're going to bring out the field goal unit. Well, Fairmont's huddling on the sideline, talking about what they're going to do. 13 seconds left. And they're actually going to punt it. So we're going to try and pooch punt it here and pin the Elks deep. Officials stop play for a delay of game. And I think that was the Firebirds' plan all along, just to try and get them 5 more yards to work with. So as Centerville gets ready to get the ball back here, what do you think Centerville has to do differently on their second drive, Lucas?
Well, I believe with Chase Harrison's passing ability, I think they need to pass the ball a little bit more than they did last time.
It was a high snap, but booming kick to the sideline, and it bounces at the 10 and rolls out at about the 7. So smart decision there by Dave Miller and the Firebirds to pin the Elks deep. Now Centerville looking at a long yard.
What a great punt by Holt.
Now as Centerville takes back over on offense, a couple things that we can look out for. The offensive line is going to have to protect Chase Harrison a lot better than what they did in that game last year that Fairmont ended up winning. You can't have any drive-ending plays or penalties for the Elks either. We saw a couple balls that were snapped down on the field. Something the Centerville's going to have to work on at halftime. Harrison hands off to number 10, Cameron Fritz, and he is tackled in the backfield for about a 3-yard loss. So Fairmont's defense coming out firing on all cylinders and showing they're not backing down against their crosstown foes.
Let's see how Centerville can do back in their own end zone.
It'll be 2nd and 14 now, ball at the 3-yard line. Harrison will be standing in his own end zone. Harrison back to pass. There's a quick out to number 11. That is Nicholas Mead, and he bobbled the catch initially but held on to it. As number 10, Justin Toll, almost knocked the ball loose there, but it'll be another 3rd and long here for the Elks.
Let's see if the Fairmont defense can hold him back once again.
Harrison calls Smith in motion. He's going to go top to bottom. Harrison's going to roll to the right. He's going to lob it down the field, and it is incomplete, intended to Smith. And that's just a little bit of miscommunication between the two of where the ball was going to go, because the last 2 years, those two have make that pass 90% of the time. But Fairmont forces another stop on 3rd and long, and Fairmont's going to get excellent starting field position after this punt will be from the end zone for the Elks. Play clock's down to 10. Better snap that time. And a better kick that time by the punter. And Fairmont calls for the fair catch at the 50. That was fair caught by number 31, Logan Adams, for the Firebirds. Now, what we saw the Firebirds first drive. What do you think they can improve on? And what do you think keys offensively here for the Firebirds are going to be?
Well, I think they just need to do what they did last time. Have that better time of possession and just keep tiring that Centerville defensive line down.
Yeah, and we talked about first game. These two are normally week 7, 8, 9 opponents later in the season. The heat and humidity is not a problem here. Maybe Centerville get a little bit more tired as Gant gets the carry, and he gets about 4 on the play. Centerville hasn't had to play the Firebirds under this rushing onslaught where they're on the field for 6, 7 minutes at a time in the heat. So it'll be interesting to see if players go down with cramps or something throughout this game. Another one, they got to be on second and third down. They got to keep those manageable for the Firebirds. They try to average at least 4 or 5 yards on each run. And so far, they're right about that mark. Gant gets the carry right up the middle, breaks the tackle, keeps the high feet going, and Gant muscles through for a Firebirds first down inside the 40. And that's just Gant's never quit attitude. You saw he kept the knees going. Bruder with the tackle for the Elks, as you're going to see number 14, Damon Grooves, check in for the Firebirds. So we approach 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Fairmont moving the ball in plus territory. We know the Firebirds don't throw it much, but we've still got to keep that in the back of our minds of when that 1 time or 2 times they'll throw it. As Gant's going to get the carry right up the middle, and he gets hit right about the second level and gets moved for about a gain of 2. Bruder, another tackle there. He's going to have 10 tackles before the end of this quarter. Well, your player to watch out for is making you look pretty good here. You said we got to watch out for number 5, Tank Gant.
I sure did, yes. Tank is a very large person to take down, as you can tell by his runs and carries so far.
And if you want an NFL player to carry this, Gant gets the carry here, close to a Firebirds first down. He kind of reminds me of Brandon Jacobs, old running back for the Giants. He's that big, stocky, normally brought in for long or short distance and goal line stands, but if he's got the stamina to be the running back for most of the carries, I say you got to keep him in there. I mean, he's at least gaining 2-3 yards past the line of scrimmage before he's hit. So it's going to be 3rd and 1 here for the Firebirds.
And like you said, though, to go along with Gant, they also have lethal weapons with their quarterback Malik Kalin and Keon Wright.
And Gant gets the carry, and he's fighting for it, and he just gets back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 4th and 1, and let's see, as we're under 2 minutes left in the first, what the Firebirds are going to do here. Fourth and 1. Fairmont looking a little bit confused, but now it looks like they're going to bring out a few more linemen. They're going to stack one side, and they're going to try and muscle this way for a first down on 4th down here. They're going to line up in the triple I, and Tank's going to get the first down. Huddles over one, and he has enough for a first down and almost down to the red zone for the Firebirds. I don't think Coach Miller was worried at all that they weren't going to get that first down. You bring out 2 linemen and you line them up right in front of Gant, and he powers through. but those linemen made a big enough hole that you could drive a car through. So we're approaching a minute left in the first quarter. First quarter in our MVCC game of the week. Fairmont going to take down. It's down to 10 already on the play clock.
He's D2. They moved their season to spring and spring ball now.
Hillen pitches it out to Wright. Wright cuts it back in at the 20, and he's tackled at about the 16. And that one might be the final play for the first quarter.
Now, as you've seen for the past 2 times that Wright has touched the ball, they've done that pitch out to the side, and it's been working out pretty well for him.
2 or 3 to go.
As we're approaching, and Fairmont's just going to walk. Well, they're going to walk up to the line and at least line up. Play clock or game clock's down to 10. And they're looking back at the coach, and they're just going to walk off. And if this was a boxing match, I say Fairmont wins that first round. Fairmont winning the first quarter, moving the ball well on offense both times, but that's in part because Fairmont has been able to pin Centerville deep both times. So we've got a quarter under your belt here, Lucas. How do you think the Elks can try and stop the Firebirds here? And you got to try and hold them to a field goal.
Well, I think the Centerville defense, they just need to stop that run. As you can tell, there's three of 2-yard gains by Gant. It's very tying for that defense. So if you can just make stops out there and get your defense off the field, I think it'd be very beneficial to them.
And it's like you said right before that quarter ended, Fairmont has 3 key runners that they can use. They got Gant. Gant's starting to pile up the numbers here early. Keon Wright has 2 big runs already, 2 big first down runs, and then we haven't seen Malik Hillen yet run the ball, but we've seen him. He can get, once he hikes it, he follows Gant right for the block.
Which you love to see in a quarterback.
So we're going to get ready to start the second quarter here at Roush Stadium in our MVCC game of the week for week number 1. It's going to be 2nd and 3 for the Firebirds at the 16. We were talking before the game before. I mean, Fairmont defensively, they're doing what we said that they need to do. They need to stop Cameron Smith and Will Linkhart, and so far they have 1 out of 3 completion to those 2 for Chase Harrison, and then haven't forced a turnover yet. But Centerville has put the ball on the ground 3 times. It luckily fell on it, or in the punt case, they picked it up. One of the ploys to try to draw the defense off sides. Gant gets the carry. No, Hillen kept it. He pulled it, and he's tackled from behind, but inside the 10. That was by number 1 for the Elks, Christopher Artis. But that's going to be enough for a Firebirds first down, and it's actually going to be enough to put them in goal-to-go situation. And Fairmont back to the line quickly. Pitch out to Gant. Gant's at the 10. Tackled at about the 6. Helmet came off there of number 4, Matthew Gravelin, for the Elks, so he'll have to check out for 1 play.
Now, Gant stumbled on that last run, but I think if he would have stayed on his feet, he might have been able to get in there for a touchdown.
Yeah, it looked, he tried to overstep. It looked like one of the linemen's hands for the Elks trying to trip him up. 2nd and 6 here for the Firebirds. Hillen and Gant looking back at the coach for instructions. Hillen hands it off to Gant. Gant runs forward at the 5 and tackled at about the 2. So it'll be 3rd and goal from the 2. Fairmont's inching their way, trying to score the first touchdown of the 2020 season here.
Now this third down is going to be very crucial if they can't pick this up.
I mean, if going by the way we've seen the game so far, this has number 5's name written all over it. Gant gets the carry, and he is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. So 4th down coming up. Fairmont went for it last time on 4th and short earlier this drive. Let's see what they do here.
Looks like they're keeping the offense out there.
I say in this kind of situation, your defense has been backing you up. Your defense has been shutting them down. You've got to go for it here, 4th and 3, and you feel the home crowd starting to shake the stands. And here they go, bring out that triple I formation. And Miller calls a timeout. So we'll see if Fairmont tries to change, talks about something in here in the timeout. Or let's see if they're going to maybe force the Elks to overthink it. You see there, Centerville lining up. Brent Ellery coming back around for his 4th season as the Elks head coach. Long time, his dad was a long-time coach for the Elks back in the day, Ron Ellery. Then Miller, this is his start of his 5th season here. Took the Firebirds to 2 straight years of the playoffs in 2017 and 2018. And here we go. Fairmont's going to bring out the same triple I.
Let's see if Fairmont can put an exclamation point on this drive.
Hillen under center. Hillen's going to keep it. And Hillen
He's in
gets
for the touchdown.
in. And the Firebirds strike first in this game. And Hillen kept that one and ran right along the seam of the blocks from the offensive line. I was anticipating the pitch to Gant, and I think the Elks line was too. That's why they didn't commit to Hillen right away. But who would have thought Hillen's first run of the game was going to be for the first touchdown of the game too?
Yes, that was an excellent run by Hillen as he saw that gap and he took it.
Now you're going to see number 16, Will Holt, out on to attempt the extra point here for the Firebirds. Snap is good, kick is up and good, and the Firebirds lead 7-0 with 9.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Now let's go back to the Centerville huddle. What do the Elks have to do now to try to sustain the drive and at least try and get some points, because you don't want to go down into halftime with a goose egg on the scoreboard?
Well, I believe that Centerville, they just need to play to their game, to play their strategy, and I think they need to up the passing game. As you can tell, the running game is not working out as Fairmont's defense is smothering them. So I believe Harrison needs to connect with Smith and Linkhart to be effective and to be successful in this game.
Yeah, we talked about Harrison being this pocket passer and on-the-run passer leading up to this game for the past 2 weeks, getting ready. And so far, he's not been able to show it. A couple handoffs to Bruder, but that's about it for the Elks offense so far in this first half. Holt getting ready to kick this off for the Firebirds. Pin the Elks deep on the first kickoff of the opening kickoff of the game, and he's going to boom this one down the sideline. Bounces at the 5 and fielded by the Elks at the 5, and tackled at about the 16. That was number 17, Arnold Fitzharris for the Elks, returning it. And that was something that we thought the Firebirds needed to work on, was kickoff tackling. We've seen him get beat big on a couple huge returns in this series under Miller, but he seemed to shore that up here, at least in this first game of the year. Harrison's going to go 4 wide for the first time and hands it off to number 10, Cameron Fritz, and he's spin. Or actually, sorry, that was number 40, Bryant Callahan. Gain of 3 on the play for the Elks. Harrison 4 wide again. And now he's going to take it back. Scrambles to the left, or to the right. Throws it downfield to Cam Smith and almost comes down with a one-handed catch.
That would have been something.
That would have been a huge catch, and that could have been enough to get Centerville's offense out of this early rut here. But that's something that the Firebirds now defensively have to watch out. Harrison's got his one scramble to the right out of the way and almost came down with that one. A little bit too much air under that. If not, if he gets that chance again and puts it right on Smith, he could be still running.
Exactly. That'd be detrimental to Fairmont's defense.
Harrison's going to go back to pass. He's going to roll to the left a little bit and throws it to the check down and Linkart, and he just drops it. And Fairmont, I don't know what this defensive line is doing, but Harrison is not reading this line that well. And we're set for another Elks punt here early.
Chelsea's lost it in South Carolina. Chelsea's lost it in South Carolina.
Refs stop play. No, they wanted to reset the clock. And Fairmont set to get another excellent starting field position out of this around the 50. And actually, this is a better kick. Bounces at the 40. And it is going to be downed at the 40 by Linkart there for the Elks. I mean, even if you're starting at your own 40, that's the worst position the Firebirds have started with this game. So now, do you think we see that methodical Miller 8-minute drive coming here? He's going to take this, and this is what Miller does. I mean, granted, Bill Belichick's worked this great with New England. He wants to try and have the last drive before the half because 9 times out of 10 they always have the second half to start the ball. So he's looking to double up on points and take 8.5 minutes off the clock here.
Which will again tire out that Centerville defense.
Gant gets the carry. No, Hillen's going to keep it.
Oh,
Pitches
nice
out to
pitch.
right. Right's at the 50, the 40. Spin moves, and he's inside the 40 down to about the 37. I wish we could go back, and I'm going to take back what I said about taking 8.5 minutes off. Miller calls a play there. Hillen didn't even move to pitch it. He just pitched it right out to right. The linebacker collapsed in on the run like it was going to be to Gant.
Oh, yeah, they all thought it was going to Gant.
One play, Fairmont into Elks territory and looking to get into that end zone once again.
Now let's see if Miller runs that methodical, slow-paced offense.
Gant right behind Hillen. Hillen's going to keep it, and he's going to run for about a gain of maybe 2 on the play. Looked like first initial tackle for the Elks was Walter Watkins, number 2. It'd be 2nd and 8. I think Miller might rethink running that play again. You don't want your starting quarterback being tackled by 3 out of 4 linemen in the first game of the season.
Now, you would not like to see your starting quarterback go down, because in the past, Hillen has had some collarbone issues.
Hillen under center, right, Gant right behind him. Hillen's going to keep it, pitches out to
Another
right.
nice pitch.
Right's at the 30, 20,
He
10,
could go all the way,
and
he's in
goes.
there for a touchdown.
Fairmont, a 37-yard touchdown run by Keon Wright, putting them up 13-0 with an extra point attempt coming from Will Holt here. But we talked about an 8.5-minute drive, and Miller only took a minute 25 off the clock. So we'll see what the Firebirds do here. I mean, Centerville now has their backs are against the wall. They need to score on this next drive. Try and stop this Firebirds momentum.
Let's see if Fairmont can put an exclamation point and get that extra point here.
Snaps better this time. Kick is up, and kick is well over the back of the band, but Will Holt makes it 14-0 in favor of the Firebirds. 7:02 left in the first quarter, or first half. Apologies. And now Centerville doesn't find themselves down double digits in the first half much. Now Fairmont or Centerville has got to do something here. They've got to, you've got to pull back the playbook and go right to the, you got to start going to your specialty plays.
Exactly what you said. This drive for Centerville's offense is going to be crucial if they're going to want to make a statement in this game. And like you said previously, I believe that Harrison, he just looks lost out there, and I think he just needs to find his role and his rhythm and get this offense rolling for those Elks.
And you don't want to go 3 and out here early for the Elks. You've got to at least form some sort of a drive to take some time off the clock, because we've seen the Firebirds. This is not a normal Fairmont team. We're used to them taking 2 scoring drives, take the whole game. 2 scoring drives have happened in this quarter alone for the Firebirds. As Holt kicks another boomer down to the 1, and he fumbles it into the end zone.
Oh!
And let's see what the refs say. That's going to be a touchback. Centerville caught a huge break there.
Well, hopefully their drive can go better than that muffed.
Yeah, that was a bad read by the returner there. If you're that close to the goal line, you just got to let it go.
Like you said, that was that could have been judgmental to this drive as he muffed that.
And Fairmont got down there in a hurry. If he wouldn't have knocked that out of the back of the end zone, Harrison throws a bullet out to Linkhart for about a gain of 5 on the play. If he didn't knock that out of the back of the end zone, Fairmont was right there to fall on it for a potential touchdown.
All right, let's see if Centerville's going to stick with that pass or if they go to the run.
Harrison lines up in shotgun. Callahan next to him. He's going to go drop back. Throws a screen pass out to Linkhart. Linkhart out across the 30, so enough for the Elks for a first down, and that's their first one since the first quarter. But I think Centerville's just happy to pick that first down up and keep the Firebirds defense on there a little bit more. They got to try and find some sort to manage a drive to get their defense some rest. Harrison in shotgun where he'll normally stay. Hand off to Callahan, and he gets across the 35 out to the 40, and that's a gain of 8, and that'll be the best play of the Elks so far tonight.
Now, I know this drive is early, but this Elks offense they're looking more awake, and they look like they're ready to go.
Yeah, they came up, or they woke up for this drive. Brent Ellery over on the sideline had to do something, has to change something. And Centerville, you've seen the last 2 plays, they've went sort of no huddle. Harrison's going to hand it off to Callahan again, and he's going to cut it back at the 40, and he breaks the tackle at the 50. He's into the 40, down to about the 30, and the refs will mark him out actually at the 34. And this is what Centerville needed. They need to maintain a drive. You have to get points on the board eventually, but you've got to keep that Firebird offense off the sideline for as long as possible. Your defense is over there drinking their waters too much. Harrison hands it off again, and he gets across the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1 there for Callahan. Official stoppage for play as the Firebird has to bend down and tie his shoe. That was number 3, Caleb Young, for the Firebirds. They're going to reset the play clock to 40. And Centerville's quickly back up, ready to hike this one.
Already in Fairmont territory.
Harrison back to pass. He fakes
scrambling.
it, and he will be close to a first down.
I think it'll be a couple inches short, or a yard or two.
You saw he wanted to pump it downfield to Smith, but excellent coverage there by the Firebirds secondary. And for the Firebirds defense, that's a win. You don't let Harrison beat you with his arm.
Yes, it's one thing I want to pick up on, though, is that Fairmont secondary is they've really improved by being led by 2 seniors with Young and Psalm.
Chase Harrison keeps the carry. He's going to out to the 20, and he is tackled at about the 15, but
there's flags on the play. So let's see if this run stands.
It's a block in the back against the Elks, so that's going to back them up.
And that really stings, as that drive would have really gotten them in that red zone. And
yeah, that was close to around the 10 where Harrison got knocked out.
let's see if Harrison keeps with this scrambling, or see if Fairmont's defense can stop it. Because this is the Chase Harrison that we're used to seeing.
I still say a Harrison scramble is a win for the defense until he starts gashing your defense and secondary for big runs. So far, the Firebirds are keeping him at bay as Harrison pulls it out, and that will go down to about the 2 for Linkhart. And that's kind of Linkhart's staple. He's the slot receiver. He's going to run out 5 yards and cut like he did. And now you would assume this one's going to go to Callahan for the Elks. Goal-to-go situation from the 1.
Let's see if Centerville can.
Harrison's actually going to keep it,
and
he's going
to be in there for a touchdown.
So the Elks answer back with a 1-yard run there for Harrison. Cuts the lead in half, but 3.5 minutes left on the clock for the first half here in our MVCC game of the week.
Now that drive just goes to show how Centerville just wanted to get those points back, and how they're still in it to win it, and they're wanting to make a push here.
An awkward lineup here. You see some teams run these. And Ellery's running down the sideline and calls a timeout. Or actually, Fairmont called the timeout, sorry. The way Ellery was running down the field, I thought it was him. But yeah, you could tell the Firebirds were confused with that. Something that looked like they haven't seen a lot of. And I've never seen Centerville really come out with an extra point attempt like that.
I might have been trying to get that Fairmont defense off sides, or I don't know what they're trying to do there.
It was the play clock was low, but it looked like Harrison had all intentions ready to hike that in his normal stance with Callahan next to him. So out of the Firebirds timeout, and Centerville's going to line up in the same formation.
Let's see what they do here.
You're actually going to see Bruder lined up next to Harrison. You're going to see number 18, Matthew Mercer, hike the ball here for the Elks. Then you got Linkhart down here at the bottom of your screen. And now everybody's going to come in. Harrison's going to be the extra point holder for number 21, James Phelps, for the Elks. Good snap. Kick is up, and kick is good. And Centerville cuts the lead in half. 14-7, though, still lead the Fairmont Firebirds. 3:38 left in the first half.
Now, do you think if Fairmont can't get a drive going here, do you think there's a change of momentum in this game now?
I would say if Fairmont comes out and stalls, it definitely builds more momentum for the Elks. With 3 timeouts, depending on how Fairmont does on the first 2 plays, Centerville could use those early. Maybe try and get the possession back and try and maybe get into field goal range late in this first half. But so far, I mean, it's week 1 of a 6-week season due in part to coronavirus and all that. We don't know what these teams have been able to practice in and out with the guidelines set forth and everything. So Fairmont's out there on the field like this is mid-season Firebirds that we're not used to seeing week 1.
Yes, exactly. Like, as you could already tell, like this Fairmont team, that last drive especially, they moved that ball quickly, and if you're a Fairmont fan, you're not used to seeing that.
You see number 33 here, Brendan Salo, kicking off for the Elks. And when we did the altar game last year for the Firebirds, you can see that the missed blocking on offensive line is improved tremendously, as this one's fielded at about the 6 by the Firebirds. That is number 1, Ethan Salm, out to about the 33-yard line. But what you would expect to see week 1, we're not seeing out of this Firebirds team. There's no miscommunication on blocking. The line is getting an excellent push like we talked about. So, I mean, this is... It's 6 weeks to fight for playoff, and you've got to try and take every game as you can.
Exactly, and like you said, Fairmont's hitting on every point right now. Let's see if they can keep it rolling with this drive here.
Hillen's going to go under center. Gant behind him, and you're going to see Wright is down here to the left. He's going to go in motion. Hillen pitches it out to Wright. Wright breaks 2 tackles. He's at the 40. He's at the 50. Splits the defenders and is tackled out of bounds by number 5, Jason Hayes, on a huge first down run for Wright. That's about a gain of 30.
Now, what a game Wright is having so far, even though it's not even halftime yet, but he has had crucial.
Each of his 3 runs has went for well over 15 yards. Takes them all the way down to the 37 of Centerville. And words, I mean, I'm at a loss for words because normally you don't see Fairmont up on the line ready to get the next play going as they are tonight.
They just look like they're ready to go out there like they've been in this season form for.
And Wright with another pitch.
Oh, no.
And the Elks capitalize here on a Firebirds fumble.
Now that really changed the shift in momentum as Fairmont makes a turnover here.
Centerville's going to have excellent starting field position here at their own 36.
And there's still plenty of time left in this quarter for them to make a run and score.
2:49 and 3 timeouts for the Elks.
Let's see if this Fairmont defense can make a stop as Harrison leads his Elks out there.
The defense only got about a minute and a half rest on this drive. So we'll see. Callahan moves from left to right in front of Harrison. Now he's going to go back. Callahan gets the carry, and he is tackled right at the line of scrimmage, maybe falls for a gain of 1. And for those of you watching, you see the orange dot on the field. The officials are not touching the ball this season as for the least amount as possible. So they have the center bring the ball up, and as long as you get right around that yellow beanbag on the field, they'll let you go. Harrison back to pass. He's going to check it down, and it's going to be about a gain of 3 on the play, and that was to Linkhart.
But number 33, Jack Roncalli, was right there to stop him.
So here we go, 3rd and 5 at about the 43 for the Elks. We're under 2 minutes left in the first. Fairmont trying to get a stop here. 3 receivers to the top. Harrison's going to roll to the left, and he's going to thought about tucking, and what a pull down sack for the Firebirds. Let's see if we can see who that was. And that was number 33, Roncalli again. Back-to-back plays. 2 huge tackles there for Roncalli, and forces Centerville here to punt with 1:20 left.
Now, as a Fairmont fan, if you're watching this, that's a great way to see your defense come back from giving up a touchdown and see your defense come out there with little rest to make a stop like that.
And Centerville is going to let this one wind down as much as possible. Play clock's down to 3, and Ellery calls the timeout with 1. 55.8 seconds left in the first half here at Rouse Stadium. And this game is starting to even out here. Fairmont moved the ball well the first quarter and a half. Centerville's defense came alive and forced a turnover their last Firebirds offensive possession. Was working with momentum, but Roncalli for the Firebirds had a nice open field tackle and then a pull down sack to stall that Elks drive. You're going to see Logan Adams back out to return this punt. He'll stand at about the 25-yard line. Snap right in the numbers for the punter, and that's a end-over-end kick. Takes him back to the 10, and Adams is upended by Linkhart at the 15. 46.3 seconds left. I'm not going to say what I think the Firebirds are going to do, because the last time I did that, Wright had a huge run.
Well, with so little time left on the clock, let's see if the Fairmont Firebirds just kneel it and go into the halftime, or see if they try to make a little push and try to get down in field goal position, because they still do have 1 timeout left.
Yeah, 46.3 seconds left.
And if they get one of those Keon Wright runs to get them in a field goal position, but we shall see.
Hillen's going to go under center again. Gant's going to be right behind him at the 10. And they're going to hand it off to Gant. And he's going to gain about 2 on the play. And there's about 2 seconds difference between the game clock and play clock. So Fairmont does not have to hike it if they don't want to.
And it looks like Fairmont's just going to take their time on this drive. Nope, they're going to get 1 more play off before the quarter ends.
And I think if you're Ellery on the away sideline, you've got to be happy with how your defense responded, giving up 2 touchdowns early.
I totally agree.
And Hillen's going to hike it, gives it to Gant right at the middle, about a gain of 1. And that is how your first half will end in our MVCC Game of the Week. And for week 1 here, Fairmont leading 14-7. The Firebirds will get the ball to start the second half, but we're going to throw it down now to the Firebirds band for the halftime show. I'm Jared Bergstrom alongside Lucas Smith bringing you tonight's game.
You can access MVCC from your Roku. Looking at the home page, select the Add Channels option. This will take you to the Roku channel store where you can find the Search Channel option on the left side of the screen. Enter in the word Screenweave and the Cablecast icon will pop up. This is a free channel, and it is where you will find different PEG access programming, including MVCCs. Once you add the channel, you can find it on your home screen with all of your other favorites. Inside Screenweave, you will find the Miami Valley Communications Council, among other access channels. Browse through pre-recorded council meetings or check out what is happening in any of our 4 MVCC channel streams.
We welcome the best cheerleaders dressed by great teams to the field with their dancing skills to Ellery, baby.
You can access MVCC from your Roku. Looking at the home page, select the Add Channels option. This will take you to the Roku channel store where you can find the Search Channel option on the left side of the screen. Enter in the word Screenweave and the Cablecast icon will pop up. This is a free channel, and it is where you will find different PEG access programming, including MVCCs. Once you add the channel, you can find it on your home screen with all of your other favorites. Inside Screenweave, you will find the Miami Valley Communications Council, among other access channels. Browse through pre-recorded council meetings or check out what is happening in any of our 4 MVCC channel streams.
We are getting ready to get back under it. Centerville getting ready to kick off to the Firebirds, set to start the second half. Fairmont kind of stalled out there a little bit towards the end of the second quarter, but see if that halftime get the offense time to go over some of the plays, maybe get back to that first quarter and first half of the second quarter mentality that they had.
I think if Fairmont could start this half off the way they did that first quarter, I think that'll be very beneficial to them, and they'll be very successful in this second half.
Salo kicks it off, a squib right up the middle, and it goes off the Firebirds, and Centerville recovers it at the 45. And that is definitely a way to try to steal a possession, get back into the game for the Elks. It ricocheted. I didn't see who it ricocheted off of, but Brent Ellery just went to his Sean Payton playbook.
Well, let's see if the Elks can take advantage of that costly turnover by the Fairmont kicking unit and see if they can score a touchdown off it.
So here we go. Harrison lined up in shotgun at the 46-yard line. He's going to step back 3 steps, throws it right across the middle of the field to number 3, Cam Smith. Makes a tackle miss and then is tackled. He's still going.
He still is. And
he will have enough. Well, that's going to be close. It's like 9.5 yards on that catch for Smith.
Now, coming into today's game, I had Cam Smith as Centerville's key player to watch for, as last season he had a monstrous year by racking up a lot of receiving yards as him and Harrison connected a lot.
And that is actually his first catch of the game, believe it or not. Smith held without a catch in that first half. As Callahan gets the carry to the left, he'll have the first down for the Elks and tries to tiptoe along the sideline, but just goes out of bounds.
Now, to me, this Centerville offense, ever since they started off with a very slow start, they just have really kicked it into gear, and they're looking very smooth, and everything is just rolling, and it just looks like they've been playing to their playbook, and Harrison looks very comfortable back there in that pocket.
They're more alert as Callahan's going to, no, Harrison's going to keep it. Harrison is across the, well, he's tripped up actually.
Taken down by Psalm.
Psalm with the tackle there, and that probably saved a first down because Harrison had wide open field to run after Psalm. Gain of about 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 7, and Centerville starting to kind of go no huddle and run a little bit of a hurry-up offense.
Try to tire that Fairmont defense out.
Harrison's going to fake the handoff. He's going to roll to the left, throws it out to Linkhart for a first down, and Linkhart tries to stretch out Ellery out to about the 22.
Taken down by Young. Now this is the Chase Harrison we all expected to see.
Harrison back to pass, and he gets hit at the end, and it is just out of Linkhart's grasp.
No flag on the play.
Throwing it up double covered though, but Harrison didn't get to plant like he wanted to because you saw the pressure from the outside by the Firebirds. I didn't see who it was.
I believe it was Colin McLaughlin, number 44.
So now it's going to be 2nd and 10 from the 23. Callahan behind Harrison, and he's going to hand it to him right up the middle. Has a first down, and he's down to about the 11-yard line.
As being on the Fairmont defense, that really hurts. And Centerville in the run zone.
Harrison back to pass, throws it to the outside. One-on-one coverage, and there's a flag on the play. That's going to be pass interference.
On Psalm. And that's going to set Centerville up very nicely in the run zone.
So that's going to be pass interference on Fairmont. So that's going to put them down at the 5-yard line. 1st and goal now for the Elks. Harrison hands it off to Callahan, and he's going to tiptoe into the end zone. And Centerville's an extra point away from tying this game up.
Well, that's a great way to start off for Centerville's offense there.
So now Centerville's going to come back out in that same formation.
And it does look like that turnover to begin this half. Looks like it bit Fairmont.
And the extra point is good. So Centerville ties this game up. 9.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Now Fairmont has got to try and figure out what to do here. That ricochet on the kickoff kind of looked like they threw him for a loop. So we'll see how the Firebirds respond. Their offense hasn't been on the field in about moving into 40 minutes. So let's see if the Firebirds come out and run a more traditional Firebird drive here.
Now do you think Centerville's going to go back to that little squib kick to try to catch them?
It puts it in the back of the Firebirds' mind. I don't think they would go to it right again. Because if you've seen the momentum has shifted now more into the favor of Centerville tying this game up. We can hear how quiet the homestands have gone, and this is only the second drive of the second half. Still plenty of football left. Salo here to kick off for the Elks, and he's going to boom that one. Fielded at the 20 and fumbled, and let's see what the refs say.
It looks like another mishap for Fairmont's receiving squad.
Elks and it's Centerville ball, back-to-back miscues by the Firebirds on special teams, and Centerville takes over 1st and 10 in the red zone at the 20-yard line.
I believe that was Caleb Young that made that turnover there, and initially he bobbled the ball, and as he started to try to go run with it, it looked like it just slipped out of his hands.
I look down the sideline and I see Coach Miller now pacing. You can tell that he's getting heated. The only 2 times Fairmont has touched this ball this second half has been 2 fumbles. And Centerville coming back out. Harrison going to hand it off to McMahon in an end around with Smith, but heads up play there for the Firebirds. That looks like number
19.
19.
Owen Russell.
And maybe that's the most alert we've seen out of the Firebirds this second half. They need to get another tackle for loss here, or at least an incomplete pass.
Hopefully that sparks some energy into that defense.
Callahan's going to get the carry, and he's going to go out to about the 26.
And looks like Russell made another little wrap around his ankles there for another takedown.
And Centerville was just issued a sideline warning.
That's going to make it 3rd and 13. And this is crucial for Fairmont to make a stop here.
Yes, they need the stop here.
At least hold them to at least a field goal attempt.
You feel the crowd trying to pump up the defense. Harrison's going to roll to the right. He's going to look back to the left. Throws a screen out to Meade, it looks like, and he's not going to have the first down, but it's going to be close. And maybe something that Centerville might go for here on 4th down. Harrison's still on the field looking over at the
And it looks like they're going to keep him on there. It's only 4th and 2.
4th and 2, and you hear the band come back to life for the Firebirds.
This is very crucial here as Fairmont tries to make this stop.
Harrison looking over this line. Looks back. Ellery's coming up the sideline. He's approaching, and Ellery's going to call a timeout with 6 left on the play clock.
And it looks like their offense there was trying to catch that defense slipping and catch them on offsides for that first down.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, you don't want to not come away with points here if you're the Elks. First time you could have the lead tonight. If you're Fairmont, you got to stay on side. Don't move too early if you're the Firebirds. 7:51 left here in the 3rd quarter at Rouse Stadium in our MVCC Game of the Week for week number 1. And Centerville has definitely swung the momentum back into their favor.
Now determining on what Centerville does here, if they go for the 4th down, Fairmont could try to swing that momentum back in their favor if they get a stop.
And they're going to send the kicker out. Centerville's going to want to try and take the lead here. You're going to have James Phelps out there for the Elks. Kick is up, and kick is no good. Centerville misses the field goal.
What a great stop by the Fairmont defense there. Hopefully that can spark some momentum and get this team rolling.
And that is exactly a good point. Fairmont needs to build on this drive. They need to have a more traditional Firebirds drive here.
And even on that last Centerville drive, that's a win for their defense by only limiting them to a field goal attempt, as they were down there at the 30-yard line to start their drive.
But we go back that the only reason that Centerville didn't have a first down is because of Russell's tackle on that end around with Smith.
And Russell made 2 key plays on that last drive there.
Hillen's going to hand it off to Gant. Gant's going to stumble over the first defender and tackled at about the 25 by number 4, Matthew Gravlin for the Elks. About a gain of 5 on the play. And Miller's fine with that. You ripping it off 5 yards at a chunk. 2 plays, you got a first down.
And also, this Centerville defense has had a lot of time to recover and get back some energy since halftime, and Fairmont's offense hasn't been on there at least at all.
That was the first play for Firebirds offensively this half.
And we're already 7 minutes left in this quarter.
And nothing there for the Firebirds. Maybe actually lost one on the play.
And it looks like Centerville's defense went back to that locker room in that halftime when they worked on that little pitch out to right. as he had lots of crucial runs that last half of the Firebirds.
They're going to say he got back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 5 here for the Firebirds at their own 25. Play clock is down to 5. Hillen under center. And I think he got, Hillen's going to throw it.
He actually had 2 receivers open, but it just seemed like he rushed that throw there.
I didn't pay attention. I thought I saw the far left of the Elks line jump early, and I was waiting for the flag, but evidently he timed it perfectly. It's going to be 4th and 5 here, and Fairmont going to punt. So they're deep in their own territory.
Now that's a rare sight to see, is Fairmont passing the ball. As last season, Hillen only threw the ball 15 times.
You're going to see Gravelin for the Elks stand back at around his own 45.
Let's see if Holt can pin them back deep in their own territory.
Good snap. A low line drive punt. And it's going to take a Firebirds roll and bounce down to the 31. So good bounce and roll there for the Firebirds, but
I thought it almost got blocked, it looked like.
this Firebirds defense has got to come out and force a stop. This Centerville offense is hot right now. Moved the ball well, got the touchdown to tie it up on their first drive, and then after the Firebirds turnover, the defense held strong and forced a missed field goal.
And that's one thing you don't want to mess with on defense-wise is a hot Centerville offense.
Harrison with Callahan to his right. Callahan gets the carry, and he is tackled that looked like by maybe number 48, Maddox Frank. Actually, it was number 45, Will Perils. Now the officials are going to stop the play. You're going to see number 74, Andrew Dixon, run off the field. So only a gain of 2 there. So Fairmont's still keeping the interior runs to minimum gains. McMahon gets the carry again, and what an open field tackle there by the Firebirds, led by, I believe, yes, number 44, Colin McLaughlin. You have called his name so many times tonight on that interior line, and he just backed the Elks up 2 yards. And now a big 3rd down here for both teams.
See if Fairmont's defense can get another key stop here.
You feel the homestands trying to pump up the crowd. Harrison's going to hand it off to Callahan.
What a great tackle.
No gain on the play as Callahan was upended. It looked like
Justin Tolle.
Tolle there first for the Firebirds. So excellent defense there by the Firebirds. And we are not a single pass attempted that drive by the Elks. 3 straight runs by Callahan. Only gained 3 total yards.
I bet next time Ellery might want to change that.
Smith back to punt for the Elks, and it trails towards the sideline, and it goes out of bounds at about the 23-24. So Fairmont going to have probably their worst starting field position of this game, but Fairmont has got to mount a drive here to try to build back some momentum. You've seen the Firebirds almost have no momentum now as the offense walks out onto the field.
Totally agree. I believe that. I just think Tank Gant needs to spark some energy here and get your Keon Ryder really killing. Any of those weapons just needs to spark a long drive here and get this Fairmont offense rolling.
Yeah, a couple downhill runs by Gant here could get this drive going for the Firebirds as we're under 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Gant gets the carry. He runs right up the middle. Almost breaks the tackle.
So he's hoppling along. got some few extra yards there. Tank's just such a hard person to take down.
But you saw number 5 there, Jason Hayes. He had an ankle lock on Gant's foot, and he was not letting him break that. You saw Gant try to shake it off 2 or 3 times, but Hayes stopped him just enough to have the rest of the Elks come back and finish the tackle. But a gain of 8 on the play for the Firebirds.
Maybe that's what this offense needs to get some rolling.
2nd and 2. And a flag. It's going to be a false start against the Firebirds.
And that hurts.
It's going to back them up 5, so it's going to be 2nd and 7. I think that's the first, or no, that's the second penalty. The Firebirds had that pass interference in the end zone earlier, or in the first half. There you're going to see play clock is down to 5. I don't know if the Firebirds notice. Hillen hikes it. They're going to give a hand out to Wright. Wright has a whole
40,
lot of field to the left.
50, 40.
And pushed out of bounds at the 30.
What a game by Wright.
And I don't know if that was a broken play by the Firebirds or not. It didn't look like Wright was supposed to be there, and Wright kind of, you saw his eyes like a deer in headlights when he got that ball. But he'll take a huge gain down the right sideline and put him in plus territory, deep into Elks territory now.
Now, I usually hear Gant being the man with the most carries, but Wright has been the man of this game at these huge, crucial plays.
That's going to put Wright close to almost 150 total yards in the game on only 8 or 9 rushing plays. Play clock's down to 5 for the Firebirds. Gant's going to get the carry right up the middle, spin move, and backs his way inside the 25 down to about the 23. And now we're going back to that Fairmont first quarter drive. And Gant is just, this offensive line is playing one of their best games that they've ever played as a unit. These holes are huge for the Firebirds that they're creating to run through.
To go on from the beginning of this game, I said that was one of the key factors that their offense needed was have that offensive line create those holes for Gant and to run through, which they're doing a great job of doing, like you said.
Gant gets the carry. He'll be right at the first down marker. Let's see what the refs say. It looks like it'll be about a half a yard short. So it'll be 3rd and inches here for the Firebirds. And almost presumably this is going to be a number 5 run right up the middle. As we're under 2 minutes left in the third quarter. This third quarter has went by so quickly. You're going to bring out the triple I formation for this 3rd and short here. Hillen under center. Hands it off to Gant. Gant tiptoes around and will have enough for the first down.
And it looked like he was going to be stopped in that backfield, but he readjusted and got what he needed.
And he did. That was a good, he was on one foot, and you saw he kind of shifted his weight to the left a little bit. Got out of the way of that Centerville defender and picked up just enough for a first down.
Now this drive is looking like that Fairmont offense we saw during that first half.
Yes, Fairmont methodically moving the ball down the sideline. And just like that, we're almost to the fourth quarter here. Hillen hands it off to Gant, and Gant kind of looked like he got tripped up, but then he just shoved his way underneath the line for about a gain of 3 on the play. Under a minute left here. Fairmont still has to hike it one more time in this quarter. It'll be 2nd and 8. at the 17-yard line. Hillen making changes at the line, and Fairmont calls a timeout.
That could cost them if this game goes down to the wire in this fourth quarter.
Valley View scores again, 34-7 over Ellery.
So what do you think the Firebirds have planning in this huddle? I mean, granted, they're planning more than just this next play with 23.8 seconds left in the third.
Well, I believe they're just going to keep doing what they've been doing this whole entire drive and handing that ball off to number 5, Tank Gannis. He's been bulldozing his way through that offensive line, getting those 2 or 3 yard gains. Trying to muscle their way to another first down and get into that red zone.
We've seen Gant break off a couple for 5 or more yards. So out of the Firebirds timeout, 2nd and 8 from the 17, 23.8 seconds left, and a tie ball game here. Hillen and Gant are the only two in the backfield now. Hillen making some changes at the line, maybe blocking schemes. Hillen pitches it out, and it maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. I didn't see who that was for the Firebirds that got the pitch.
I believe it was number 28, A.J. Mullen.
But that'll be the end of the third quarter. 3rd and 8 for the Firebirds will be coming out to start the fourth quarter.
This third down is going to be crucial for their offense here, because if they're just limited to a field goal attempt, it hurts as an offense getting all the way down there and having to settle for only 3 points.
So we've got 12 minutes left. First game of the year in 2020. Centerville Fairmont tied at 14. Fairmont 3rd and 8 at the 17. Depending on what the Firebirds do, I would say this is 4-down territory if you're the Firebirds.
And like we said at the beginning, this Fairmont-Centerville matchup is always a nail-biter and an instant classic every single year as these two inter-town foes go head-to-head.
If you want to get any G-Lock scores, these guys always call in. She was watching Bellbrook because she teaches there, and then she keeps an eye on Oakwood because I was there last year.
So out of the quarter break, 3rd and 8 for the Firebirds at their own 17. May we see another pass here from the Firebirds? We saw one earlier that the receiver and Hillen were just not on the same page. Hillen under center with Gant behind him. Hillen's going to roll to the right. He has blocking out in front, and he's inside the 10 down to about the 5.
What a run by Hillen.
Wasn't what we thought was going to happen, but Fairmont will take the first down to goal to go.
And that's got to feel good if you're on the offense to get that first down, being down 3rd and 8. Now let's see if they can cash in this opportunity in the red zone and get a touchdown here.
Play clock is down to 10. Hillen under center. Hillen gonna hand it off to Gant, and Gant is upended at the 3. Looked like by maybe number 8 for the Elks, Joseph Jean Lewis. And That's how you take the big man down. You got to go low, get that center of gravity off.
Yeah, like you said, if you just try to take a big man down up high, you're just going to get run right through.
Play clock is down to 10. Second and goal from the 2. Fairmont going to bring out the strong I formation. Gant gets the carry up the middle, and he will be down to about the 1. We were talking about time of possession is going to be crucial. The time of possession is almost identical. Fairmont at the end of the third, 18 minutes and 40 seconds, and Centerville 17 minutes and 2 seconds.
And like you said, this is a different Fairmont team than we've seen in the past. A little bit in that first half and a little bit of this half, you've seen that they've been moving that ball upfield quite quickly.
Late off the field there for the Firebirds. 3rd and 1 from the 1. Play clock is down to 3, and Miller is going to call another timeout. That's going to leave the Firebirds with 1, with a lot of football left here. 2 timeouts on this one drive.
And that might be a key factor if this game comes down to the wire.
You've got kind of flabbergasted. I don't see why the Firebirds didn't get ready. They were ready. They were standing there when the play clock was at about 8.
And, you know, it seems like the play call would be easy on that with just giving the ball to Gant straight up the middle, being on the 1 yard line.
So, I mean, it's 3rd and 1 at the 1. Under 10 minutes left in the 4th quarter, week 1. But you're playing your biggest rival of the season here. Everybody in this stadium knows where this ball is going. Everybody watching this game knows that Gant is going to get the ball. You're going to bring out the strong I again. Gant gets the carry. Gant hurdles into the end zone and puts the Firebirds back on top. 20-14, 9:49 left in the game.
And what a play by Gant to be aware to hop over those defenders, as if he would have gone down low, he would have been taken down. So what a heads-up play by Gant there to give the Firebirds a touchdown.
And you saw the Elks line did go low to try and stop that. And Gant saw that right as Hillen gave him the ball, and he hurtled into the end zone and hurtled the Firebirds into the lead. Hold on to attempt his 3rd extra point. High snap and tackled out at about the 30. And that was just a high snap by the long snapper to the holder.
Ball was recovered by number 6, Zachary Hutchinson.
That one could come back to be huge for the Firebirds.
Yes, it might. And I mean, as a coach, it's nice to see your team get that touchdown after giving up 2 turnovers to start off this half. But you got to cash in on that extra point opportunity, because it might come to hurt you if this game comes down to the wire.
I kind of want to know what is going through a kicker's mind. You're getting ready to put your team up 7 late in the 4th quarter against your big rival, and you see the ball go well over the holder's head.
Well, I mean, I can probably think what's going through his head, but
not probably allowed to say that on air.
Yeah, probably not. Not a good thing to say.
But now hold on to kick off. We'll see. Maybe Fairmont tries one of these ricochet kicks like the Elks did at the beginning of the 2nd half.
Well, I mean, I think it might be a good idea.
And Holt is going to kick it deep, going to the far sideline, fielded at about the 5.
He's
and
got
there's
a lot of open room.
Huge return. Holt is the only one over there for the Firebirds, and he slows the defender up enough, but let's see, can the Firebirds get a track behind tackle? And Centerville returns the kickoff back 95 yards for a touchdown to put the Elks back up, or puts the Elks to tie this game potentially.
And now that extra point, like we said, is going to bite that Fairmont team if Centerville can't convert on this extra point to put them up by 1.
We've been waiting for that. There has been a couple huge gaps to the side that Centerville hasn't really seen throughout the first part of this game, but Centerville made Fairmont pay by not putting more people to the top of your screen. A 95-yard kick return potentially puts your team at least tied with one of your biggest school rivals.
Now let's see if this Fairmont defense can come up with something and at least block this attempt or mess it up somehow.
Jackson Corville on to attempt the extra point. The kick is up, and the kick is good, and it puts the Elks up 21-20, 9:35 left in the game.
Now, if you're Fairmont's head coach here, this drive is going to be pretty crucial.
If we're going to go inside Miller's head inside his headset, he's going to go back to his ground and pound attack, and he's going to try and take as much time off this drive as possible.
But at the same time, still converting on those first downs.
9.5 minutes, but 1 timeout left for the Firebirds too. 2 timeouts called on that last drive.
Now this Fairmont receiving unit cannot make a mishap right now, as they have previously.
Yeah, this is the Firebirds' first kickoff since the 2 turnovers, so we'll see how. It'll be interesting to see how Centerville plays this kickoff. You don't want to have the Firebirds at a shorter field if you try something and it doesn't work. You're going to see Salo out there to kick the ball off for the Elks. And Salo squibs it right up the middle, fielded by number 2 for the Firebirds. And he's going to be tackled at about the 30. So Fairmont will start this drive at the 30. 9:30 left in the game.
No, I'm presuming to see that number 5, Tank Gant's going to be having his hands on the football for most of this drive.
I think this is going to be a lot of up-the-middle runs coming for the Firebirds these next couple plays.
Now still, you got to remember that pitch off to the side with Wright has really been killing the Centerville defense. So, you think they're on high heels about that?
It's definitely in the Elks' mind. The linebackers have got to watch out for that right pitch, as Gant gets the carry right up the middle for about a gain of 3. So it'll be 2nd and 7 as we approach 9 minutes left in the game. Hayes with another tackle for the Elks. It seems like that's the only name we've called on defense so far tonight.
And already on that first play, Fairmont's already taken 30 seconds off the clock. If they want to get down on this field, they need to limit that in time
between plays.
Yes.
Hillen under center. He's going to keep it, and he fakes the pitch to right. And Hillen spin moves out to about the 38. Will be close to a first down, but it'll be 3rd and about a long 2.
And I'm guaranteeing they're going to hand this ball off to Gant right up the middle.
I would assume that he's been the workhorse so far tonight. You've got to put it in number 5's hands to get you 2 yards. Your lineman is pushing the Elks back 2 yards at least.
Now this 3rd down is very crucial. you can already tell this fourth quarter is already coming down to 8 minutes left, so that clock is ticking.
3rd and 2 here from the 37. Gant gets the carry up the middle. Gant upended, but he might have enough for the first down, and he does.
Looks like that somersault got him at least 2 yards.
2 yards in a chain link, it looks like. That was right over the 40, but it's a first down for the Firebirds, and the drive keeps going.
Firebirds offense needs to keep pushing that ball downfield and keep that time manageable, as they only have 1 timeout left.
1 timeout, 7.5 minutes left. Centerville leading 21-20. Hillen's going to keep it right up the middle, and he gets out to about the 44. So about a gain of 3 on the play. And we remind you, Fairmont does not have to get a touchdown to take the lead. They can just get into field goal range. Granted, every coach wants the touchdown, but it's not required for the win. As we're under 7 minutes left in the game now, as Fairmont is taking this time off this clock on this drive.
And like you said, they might just be using this time up to get their field goal kicker into field goal territory, but you would love to see a touchdown.
Play clock's down to 5. Hillen's going to keep it. He's going to roll to the left, pitches it out to right, and right is tackled right at midfield, and it will be close to the first down, about a half a yard short.
Now, do you think he made the right decision by pitching that ball off, or do you think it would have been better for him to keep it and go?
The pitch was a good idea. I think Hillen pitched it a little too late.
I would have to agree, because it looked like he had himself a good hole there, and he decided to pitch it right away, but there is a defender right there to take down right.
The defender got enough time that he could have made the decision to go after either one. 3rd and not even a full yard here for the Firebirds at midfield.
You have Gant in the backfield. Most likely the ball is going to be going to.
Gant's going to get the carry up the middle, and Gant bursts through. Gant falls down at the 47, or at the 42, and if he could have stayed up, he had at least 15 more yards.
And like we've been saying, he's a hard running back to take down with that weight and bulkiness.
And that's the only way the Elks have been able to stop him. You got 2 people on him, or you've just knocked his center of balance off.
But there's still plenty of time in this quarter for the Firebirds to get down that field.
Under 5.5 minutes left. 1st and 10 at the 42 for the Firebirds. Hillen going to pitch it way out to right, and Wright's going to cut it back and maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Now, if I'm Fairmont here,
and well, Centerville takes the time out there. But you saw that wide pitch out has not been the biggest successful run for the Firebirds. It's gotten yards, and if they can get to the edge, but the Elks read that one perfect.
like you said, it seems like it's been when Hillen's kept that ball for a little bit and inch forward and then pitch it. That's what's really been working, but that instant pitch, it seems like Centerville's defense been all over that.
5:04 left in the ball game here. Centerville's up 21-20, but Fairmont is methodically moving down the field in a traditional Fairmont drive, taking time off the clock. And I think that's why Centerville had to take a timeout there, because they don't want to be left with under a minute left on the clock, which the Firebirds are capable of doing.
I also think that their head coach might have made that call to give their defense a little bit of a break and to catch a breather and re-energize.
Yeah, Fairmont got this ball, I think, at around 9.5 minutes left in the game. So the defense has been out there grinding for quite a while.
Now, if I'm Fairmont here, in between each plays, I might think about doing a quick huddle to keep that defense on their toes and maybe catch them off sides and to keep them out of breath.
Yeah, line up quickly so they can't think about what they're going to do. Actually, Centerville took a timeout somewhere else in the quarter. They just updated. Each team only has one timeout left now. Hillen under center, second and 10 at the 42. And Hillen pitches it to right, and he's tackled at the 40. Or actually, that was not right. It was. These silver numbers makes it hard to see.
It looked like your right had an opening there, but it soon closed.
Yeah, Jason Hayes closed that hole real quick. It's going to be 3rd and 8.
This Fairmont offense needs to get some yardage to keep this drive rolling.
Third and 8, 4.5 minutes left in the game. Fairmont needs to get at least a field goal to put themselves up. Hillen's going to roll to the left. He's going to fake a pitch, and he's going to be tackled for about 3 more yards, and the ball comes out. And the ball is going to go back to the Elks.
I think Hillen might have been down on that play. I think there was a knee down before that ball came out.
A fumble there by Hillen, 4:12 left in the game. Fairmont only has one timeout, but the defense has shown to stop. And I don't think Centerville's going to risk it with passes. I think they're going to try to run some clock here, too, for themselves.
And at the beginning of this game, we said the key factor to Fairmont's defense was to force the turnovers, but it's been all Fairmont committing the turnovers, as that's their 3rd of the game.
Callahan gets the carry, and he's tackled at about the 45. He works his way out. Gain of about 6 on the play. Under 4 minutes left now in the game. Centerville trying to take some time off the clock here. Harrison fakes the pass. He's going to throw it out, and it's incomplete. Oh, it is caught. It was off his shoulder pad. What a catch there. And that's going to move the Elks across midfield.
Now that almost was detrimental because that ball was up in the air.
Heads up play by the Centerville receiver there to track it down midair.
Now I doubt Centerville's offense is going to pass that.
I was kind of weary that they passed it there too.
Centerville taking time off the clock here. I don't think they're going to let that play clock run all the way down.
They can take it under 3 minutes. Well, they're going to hike it there. Harrison's going to get the carry up the middle, and Harrison bursts through for about a gain of 6 or about 7 on the play. And now, if you're Fairmont, it'll be 2nd and about 3. 2nd and 2, actually. 2:44. You would think if Fairmont doesn't, or Centerville doesn't pick it up and Fairmont gets a stop here, they're going to take that timeout.
Now these runs are they're hurting that Fairmont defense. They need to make a stop here to give their offense another chance.
They need a turnover, and that's something that we talked about. Fairmont needs to force a turnover. Harrison keeps it. He has the first down, and he's tackled from behind, but inside the 30.
This is not looking good if you're a Fairmont fan, as time is still ticking away on that clock.
Centerville won't have to hike this before a minute 40 if they don't want to on the clock. Harrison backs up. Under 2 minutes left now. Play clock's down to 10.
Centerville running that play clock all the way down.
Down to 5. Harrison hands off to McMahon. No, Harrison's going to keep it. And Harrison's tackled.
Looks like by number 1, Ethan Somm.
Gain of about 2 on the play. A minute and a half and counting. And Fairmont didn't take the timeout.
As that time ticks away, it just looks like this game's just slipping away from the Fairmont Firebirds ever even getting a chance. As this game clock's about to go under a minute here.
You see Harrison studying the line, looks up at the play clock, it's at 10. Looks at the game clock, it's at a minute. Harrison's going to run it right up the middle, and he's going to be tackled. And Fairmont's going to take their final timeout with 56.7 seconds left. It'll be third and about 7. 3rd and 6 is what it'll be. Fairmont, like we've said, that they need that turnover because a stop here on 3rd down. Elks are in field goal territory. 56.7 seconds left. And I've liked how so far these last couple plays, Harrison, he's not handing the ball off. He's not letting a fundamental key mess up the game. He's going to just take it and run it right up the middle, not worry about a fumble exchange between him and McMahon or Callahan. But Centerville has just come out in this second half. The 2 miscues for the Firebirds on fumbling the 2 kickoffs and then giving up the 95-yard kick return is what almost killed all momentum for the Firebirds.
Totally agree. Centerville cashed in on all those turnover opportunities, and it's really just hurt the Fairmont Firebirds here, and it's starting to look like it's going to be a first loss for the Fairmont Firebirds this season.
Smith's going to go up. He's going to run it right up the middle. Tackled at about the 19, so not enough for a first down, but only about a 10-second difference between the game clock and play clock.
Now, Jared, do you think if Fairmont would have limited those turnovers that this game would have a different outcome?
I believe so. I think Fairmont could have taken more time off the clock in either of those drives if they didn't fumble. And Centerville's going to drive this down. 10 seconds left on the play clock. Ellery's going to probably call a timeout with about 11 seconds left on the game clock.
Well, you know, even though this is going to be a loss for the Fairmont Firebirds, you can still take a lot from this game, knowing that you could come out strongly and start a game off on the right note by getting those good rushes by Wright and Gant, but it's like I said, those turnovers just very crucial in this game.
It's a big building block for the Firebirds to move on the rest of this season. And with Fairmont only being a 6-week regular season, here the Firebirds, you got to get this one out, push this one behind you, get it on the practice field on Monday, and you got to get ready for your next opponent. Will actually be our next game. We're going to be down at Carefly Field. We're going to be doing Beaver Creek versus Springboro next week for week number 2. So be sure to join us again, 6:45.
So, like you said, this game's going to sting a little bit for the Firebirds, taking this 1-point loss to their arch rival, the Centerville Elks here. But like you said, you just got to go back to the drawing boards and get right back at it on those practice fields on Monday.
Harrison's going to line up. 12.4 seconds left. Maybe try and run around for a few seconds and then heave one out of the back of the end zone. He's going to run it right up the middle. He's going to pick up the first down, and that one is going to put the icing on the cake. Centerville comes back, forces 4 turnovers in the second half, and Centerville's going to escape Kettering with a 1-point win, 21-20, in our MVCC Game of the Week opener. Like we said, we'll be at Beaver Creek at Springboro next week. Lucas, for your first game in the booth, it definitely was one down to the wire. Hopefully you had a good time. We'll be back next week. Be sure to stay up to date with other games in our MVCC school coverage on Twitter and social media at MVCC Social. Signing off for Jared Bergstrom and Lucas Smith and the rest of the Miami Valley Communications crew. We'll see you next week.
You can access MVCC from your Roku. Looking at the home page, select the Add Channels option. This will take you to the Roku channel store where you can find the Search Channel option on the left side of the screen. Enter in the word Screenweave and the Cablecast icon will pop up. This is a free channel, and it is where you will find different PEG access programming, including MVCCs. Once you add the channel, you can find it on your home screen with all of your other favorites. Inside Screenweave, you will find the Miami Valley Communications Council, among other access channels. Browse through pre-recorded council meetings or check out what is happening in any of our 4 MVCC channel streams.